beautiful day for baseball. No inclement weather projected in the forecast today. After that was a problem both Friday and Saturday. It's digging in. It's Danny Dollagale, the left-handed batter, will play right field. First pitch is a swinging strike, and away we go on a beautiful afternoon. Partly cloudy skies, 64 degrees here in Bloomington. Games yesterday had to be pushed up. Yesterday and Friday had to be pushed up to noon because of the weather. Should not be a problem today. Second pitch from Tucker misses high, 1-1.
Yeah, very strong wind blowing out to right field as well. I believe around 15 miles an hour, so that'll definitely be something to look for, especially with left-handed batters.
Dollagale had a 13-game hitting streak earlier this season, 1 for 8 on the weekend with a double. Looks at ball 2, down and away. Both these teams in their wins, Indiana won on Friday, Illinois won yesterday, and both of them got out to early starts with the noon Eastern start times. You worried about teams getting off to late starts, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. 2-1 misses just upstairs as some of the home crowd looks for a better call there. Fans filing in. Another matinee, the third of the weekend.
Really a very solid crowd here, especially with softball going on right next door at Andy Moore.
The 3-1 is lined into left field. Coming on is Matheson. He can't play it. It bounces out in front of him, and the leadoff runner is aboard. Danny Dollagale will be on with a single. Put it in play. Good things happen. Matheson tried to come in and make a play, but then realized diving for it wasn't the best idea. Lets it drop in front of him. It does well to keep it in front. And Dollagale will remain at first with the base hit.
Well, hits like those are so hard to read because of the height and the speed. You obviously, not a bad idea to dive, but then it just fell a little bit too fast, and he wasn't able to read it in time.
So second aboard, it's Brendan Comia, third baseman, right-handed batter. Looks at a first pitch just upstairs for ball 1. The Indiana defense today looks like this. In left field, it is Carter Matheson. In center field, it's Bobby Whalen. Right field, it's Hunter Jesse. Third to first, it's Pine Goforth, who gets the start today, Dones and Tibbetts. And then it is Peter Serrato behind the plate, catching Braden Tucker. Another one misses upstairs. Tucker a bit frustrated with that call. It's 2-0 with Dollagale leading off of first. Leads the team with 15 stolen bases, has been caught just once. Indiana's had trouble throwing runners out as well. The 2-0 misses high and in for ball 3. Just a ball away from seeing the first 2 runners aboard for the Fighting Illini.
Well, this is something that happened with Tucker on Tuesday as well. He gave up 2 walks in the first inning, didn't have a super great start, but then as he continued going into the later innings, became much more comfortable on the mound.
A get-me-over strike there on 3-0, catches the outside corner. Comia took a half a step towards first base. Home plate umpire Ben Levin had other ideas. It's Ben Levin behind the plate, Jimmy Craig at first, Bill McGuire at second, and Stephen Linton over at third for the final game of this 3-game set on this Sunday, first day of May. Just about a few weeks away from the Big Ten tournament in Omaha, and then just a month late after that, it will be the College World Series. In this full season in the year 2022, of course, last year just conference play for the majority of the teams. Indiana just missed out on a bid, and they'll check once again over at first where Dollagale, he slides back in safely. Brandon Comia hitting .325 on the season. Went 0 for 5 on Friday, but had 3 RBIs yesterday. Looks at that one, misses up high as well. Umpire certainly giving the calls to the Illini to this point, as Serrato has a word, wondering where that was, but it's upstairs, and the first 2 runners are aboard. It's a single and a walk now. And now it is
an interesting strike zone to start things out. Obviously, this Indiana crowd is not happy, and neither is Braden Tucker. Rightfully so, I think.
So it's Janis now, left-handed batter. Sophomore, hitting third with a .336 average. Tucker steps off. Leads the team with a .488 on base and a .568 slugging percentage. Was the Big Ten batting champ last year, hit .391. 7 for 10 this weekend. Indiana's had problems getting him out. First pitch, a called strike.
Oh, and if you're Indiana, if you're Braden Tucker right now, especially given the way Janice was batting yesterday, you really want to strike out. You don't even want to risk trying to get a ground ball, forcing that double play. While it would be great, there's a lot more danger to that than working him in the box and getting him out that way.
You saw there, he's got plenty of power, 6 home runs, 33 RBIs on the season, looking to get Illinois on the board for the second straight day, but he looks at another called strike, and quickly Tucker is ahead 0-2. Some good speed on the bases for the Illini. It is Dalgay leading off second, Comia leading off of first. In the top of the first, no score. Third batter of this ball game. Called strike 3 on a pitch that Janice thought was low. It's in there as the umpire gives one back to Indiana after the Hoosiers thought they were maybe didn't get the right end of a couple calls, but they got a called strike 3 there, and that's exactly what you said, Amanda. Don't even want a ground ball. That one just catches the low inside corner. It's a backwards K, and there's one away.
Maybe a little bit of a makeup call on that one. But, I mean, now try to get a double play if you're Indiana. Keep it in the infield.
Catcher at the plate as well. Not a guy with great speed. Jacob Campbell's got some pop, though, has 2 home runs. Hit one on Friday and one yesterday as well. Runners on the move. Pitches a strike. The throw to second. Not in time. Serrato opted to go to second with both runners on the move, so it's a stolen base. 2 of them. Dalgay swipes third, and Comia takes second. Interesting that you want to throw it to second and not third, given that despite the speed, third is, of course, a much shorter throw for the catcher, but with a right-handed batter in the box, it's harder to get around him.
Yeah, really, really smart move by Illinois to do that double steal, especially at this point in the game. You know, top of the first, you get a new batter up. It's not really something that Indiana will be thinking about. And like you said, with that right-handed batter, keeps the lead runner at least, even if they were to get the out at second, which they were unable to. Bit of a slow reaction time from Cerruto behind the plate.
Called strike there makes it 0-2. Now it's 2 runners in scoring position. A sac fly or a ground ball the other way should do the trick. Indiana defensively playing straight up. So it's Jacob Campbell, the cleanup hitter, doing the catching duties today. He's had quite the weekend, looking to add to it. There's a pitch high and away. Campbell steps back in the box. Tucker is up 1-2, looking for another strikeout. Keep the Illini off the board. They stranded 3 runners in both the first and second innings of Friday's game. As there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Tucker has rebounded nicely after the first 2 guys are on and struck out the next 2. Now there's quickly 2 away. Looking at the rest of this lineup, it's now McDonald that will come to the plate. Cam McDonald. It'll be Kellen Sarver after him if the inning continues. He DHs. Taylor Jackson hits 7th and plays center. Brody Harding plays second and hits 8th. And at the end, it is Cal Haza, the shortstop, who hits 9th. So now it's 2 on, 2 out for the left fielder McDonald. Looking to get a key 2-out RBI. He's got 2 ducks out there to try and hit in. First pitch misses outside for ball 1. McDonald leads the team with a .369 average, as you see there. 6 home runs, 43 RBIs. That leads the team as well. Could get 44 and 45 with a hit here. Takes a pitch that misses just low. Count now 2-0 on the 5-hitter in this lineup. First 2 batters, Dalgay reached with a single, Comia reached with a walk. They both stole bases during the Campbell at-bat. That was after Janice struck out looking, and then Campbell struck out swinging. And Tucker's 1 out away from getting out of this. And Illinois would still have a goose egg on the board. And pitches outside, misses with the off-speed. Count 3-0 as he's behind another hitter in McDonald. Yesterday, Illinois drew 12 walks. That was a season high for them, as the Indiana pitchers just could not find their stuff. That allowed them to hop on the pitches that were over the zone. Cranked out a bunch of hits yesterday. There's another one misses, and that's a 4-pitch walk to the 5-hitter McDonald. So he's on, and now the bases are juiced for Kellen Sarver.
On that right there, McDonald came into today with a 51 on-base streak, 51 games, dating back to May 8th, 2021, which is just crazy if you think about it. But extends that there, and now, like you said, bases loaded, and all of these runners, pretty decent speed, especially at second and third, and Comia and Dollagale both taking pretty solid leads at second and third on every pitch from Tucker.
It's the freshman DHing, Sarver, in the box, takes a first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. As Tucker's ahead 0-1. Fans filing in. Quite a nice crowd today after yesterday and Friday's game. Weren't too many people in attendance. Friday's game was supposed to be at 7 o'clock. Yesterday's game was supposed to be at 2 o'clock. Both got moved up to noon with inclement weather in the forecast in Bloomington. Some rain last night, but nothing to jeopardize the start of this game. There's one sent the other way and through for a base hit. One run scores. They're going to wave the second runner home. The throw from Matheson is not in time. It's a 2-run, 2-out single for Kellen Sarver, and the Illini are on the board first. It's 2-0.
A really well-placed hit there in between Pine and Goforth. Pine shaded over towards third base, and Goforth a little bit over to the right towards second base, and really nice ground ball down in between the two of them. No one really able to get to it. Obviously, with bases loaded, that's going to be a pretty solid RBI hit.
Took the pitch on the outside corner, didn't do too much, just went the other way. Find a hole, good things happen. So he gets 2 RBIs, and now it's the 7th hitter, Taylor Jackson, the center fielder, the graduate student from Chicago, Illinois. Went 3 for 5 on Friday with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs, looking to extend this inning for the Illini. First pitch misses way upstairs for ball 1. We mentioned at the top, Tucker's a guy we've seen a lot out of the bullpen. Indiana still trying to find that guy on Sunday to roll with, but it's getting late early, as they say, and really isn't too much time for Indiana to really find that third starter. Now it is May, and it really is the end of the regular season. There's a called strike to even the count at 1.
And one of the good things you could say about having Tucker in as a starter, but in situations like this where the other team gets up early, is he's not a stranger to coming in to face pressure. So as opposed to maybe some of the younger pitchers or the pitchers who were thought to be starters, having a reliever come in, knowing what it feels like to have runners on the base paths, to be down a couple runs, could be something useful for Indiana if he's able to obviously continue and stay on the mound and not be taken out too early.
Fastball at 91 miles an hour finds the upper part of the zone. Now Tucker is 1 strike away from getting out of it with just 2 on the board for the Illini. The kick in the deal, 1-2, is on the way. Lined up the middle, but Jones is perfectly there, and he steps on second, goes the short way for the out to end the top of the first inning. Illini do score 2, but they strand 2 runners, and we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. It's Illinois 2, and the Hoosiers coming to bat. You're listening to Big Ten Plus.
Owens coming into the year as the number 17 MLB draft prospect by D1 Baseball. So he hasn't pitched a whole lot relative to the other pitchers on this team, but definitely one to look out for. And of course, he is the Sunday starter. So
he's 1 out short of 40 innings pitched on the season, but opponents hitting just 225 off of him as the part of the all Big Ten freshman team. He's redshirted twice, as that one is in on the fists and will be playable. And fielding your own position right there, Riley Goins goes into foul territory, makes the play. And quickly, there's 1 out.
Not too.
So second up is Hunter Jesse, the right fielder. First pitch to him, misses inside for ball 1. Jesse leads the team with a .453 on-base percentage. He's part of the academic All-Big Ten team last year. And this weekend is 3 for 8 with a double and 2 RBIs. Indiana scored 17 runs in the 2 games to this point. Second pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. .333 average, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. We've seen a lot of fluctuation in this Indiana lineup, and Hunter Jesse has been one of the beneficiaries of that, now hitting second. As that pitch misses low, 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Gowans. Had a good start last time out. 5 2/3 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. As there's one is foul, and will go into the seats. Does strike a fan on the shoulder, but looks like everyone's okay. Gotta always be attentive out there, bring a glove or not. That's why on every chair in front of you it says be aware for batted bats and balls.
Well, it's tough, especially with the sun out today. Very easy to lose a ball like that if you're not paying enough attention.
2-2 to Jesse. Right fielder batting second. That one misses way outside, looking for Jesse to chase there. Count is full at 3-2.
He's got multiple stolen bases this season, stole home on Tuesday against Butler, so he's not afraid to run if he can.
And he will be able to run as he looks at ball 4. Jesse wins the battle, and so he's aboard with a 1-out base on balls.
But been able to be one of the more reliable ones at the plate.
First pitch misses up and in as he has to duck out of the way on that one. 1-0. Jesse off of first, stolen 6 bases this season, been caught just once. It's the Bloomfield, Indiana native. Freshman of the week, first time in a year that a Indiana player won that. Morgan Colopy won it a year ago in the last week of April.
Really big, massive swing there from Pine. Obviously wants to make some contact and get something going early in the game. As we talked about in the pregame, Indiana will have to get something going early as Illinois already got 2 runs up. They want to respond as soon as they can.
That one catches the inside corner. Pine not too happy about that one as he steps out. Ball gets away from Gowins, but Jesse will remain at first. That was an issue yesterday. Illinois scored a run off of just a casual throwback to the pitcher's mound. It was Matthew Ellis, the catcher, who was DHing today for Indiana, just threw a ball back to the mound. It was not caught, and another run came in. That was part of the 10-run 6th inning. But Indiana scored 8 runs in the final 2 innings, but still lost 18-10. When they give up double digits, they have not won a single game this year. They're 0-11 in those contests as that one misses up. Count 2-2 on Pine, the freshman third baseman. Has 5 3-hit games this season, and this weekend 3 for 7 with 3 RBIs, the most important one coming in the bottom of the 9th on Friday. And that one plunks him, hits him in on the hands, and he will be awarded first base via hit by pitch. Been a lot of hit by pitches this series. Indiana as a team are right up there, the top of the country in terms of batters they've hit. But Matheson with 11 home runs on the season. That's tied for second most in Indiana history for a freshman. Add another one. That one is long gone. A 3-run bomb from number 3, Carter Matheson. He gives Indiana the lead. Right as I say it, that's his 12th home run. Now he is second all-time for Indiana freshman, all by himself, just 2 behind Alex Dickerson, who hit 14 in 2009. That got out of here in a hurry.
A first pitch swinging for Matheson. There's not much more you could want if you're Indiana. There was a time earlier in the season where he wasn't even in the starting lineup, and now you can just see how much of an impact he's had with his hits, with his home runs, just with his presence on the team to be able to come in and do something massive like that so early on in the game is really impressive and really good for Indiana.
Matheson, a freshman who began at the bottom of the order, wasn't even in the lineup at one point, but now he has found himself in the cleanup spot. Head coach Jeff Mercer has called him a physical kid who does not chase and expand the zone. And he has some pop, boys. That one went off the gate way beyond the right field fence, way past the 330. That one well over 400 feet. As now it's Tyler Dones, the 5-hitter. .267 on the season. Began the year at the leadoff position. The transfer from West Virginia now finds himself in the 5-hole, basically leading off as bases were cleared for him for Carter Matheson. His 12th home run and RBIs 36, 37, and 38. That one fouled straight back right towards us.
Well, it's still just 1 out for Indiana, so they've been able to take a crack early on here. That's exactly what you want to do, especially after yesterday. You know, you can put up 10 runs and you still lose is not a great feeling.
Certainly carrying over the momentum from the last 2 innings. It was a foul out from Whalen, followed by a walk, a hit by pitch, and then a home run. Another one fouled back in on the hands of Tyler Dones. He is behind 1-2. And Gowans, his last time out, 5 2/3, gave up 5 earned, struck out 7 against Maryland. And they lost the second game of that doubleheader. The time before that, one of his best outings, 7 innings, didn't give up a single run, and he won that game against Northwestern, 4-2 on the season. Just the 6th long ball he's given up this year. The 1-2 to Dones, hit in the air, playable this time. It's the second baseman, Harding, with the shades on, sees it into the glove, and there's the second out. First pitch to him, catches the inside corner for strike 1 with Matthew Ellis waiting on deck. So now Matheson is 1 behind Ellis for the team lead in home runs. He's got 12. Ellis, who's on deck, has 13, but it's certainly fallen off a little bit. And he will bat this inning if Tibbetts can reach here. Beautiful day for baseball in Bloomington. Sun is out. It's a bit cloudy as well, a bit breezy. Yesterday the wind was blowing out to left center field, which made things interesting. Today it's blowing out to right, as it usually is. We've mentioned it. We've seen a lot of high-scoring games on Sundays, which have called for some really long games. And so far, 5 runs in the first, not even the first inning. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for Indiana's first time to the plate. Already with 3, looking to add more. The 1-2 on the way, misses outside. 2-2, and 91 miles an hour fastball. That's right about where Gowans, right about where his max fastball is, his velocity. Can hit the 90s if he can. Looking to get out of the inning here. The 2-2 is fisted, but it through the hole on the right side and into right field for a base hit.
Well, again, a really well-placed base hit. Harding, the second baseman, was shaded over towards second out. And that home run, again, very much aided by the wind blowing out.
Seen plenty of home runs at Bart Kaufman, and the wind blowing out to right field certainly helps, as it's 3:30 down the lines. Ellis looks at a first pitch strike.
And you mentioned it earlier when we were talking about when he was on deck. He really needs to get something going now. Hasn't really been able to do anything at the plate so far this weekend against Illinois. And you'd think after having he had a really successful game on Tuesday with the home run, multiple RBIs and hits, and now to go into a weekend and not be able to do anything at this point in the season, you really don't want to have that continue any further than it already has in the past 2 games.
This is his 7th at-bat of the weekend, still looking for his first hit. One of the few Hoosiers, really few players on either of these 2 teams who haven't gotten a hit yet. He swings and misses at strike 2 on a pitch that might have been out of the zone on the outside corner. So it's Tibbetts that leads off of first. Indiana's up 3-2 here in the bottom of the first. They've countered the Illini 2 runs with 3 of their own, all off the bat of Carter Matheson with a 1-out home run just a few batters ago after Jesse and Pine reached on free passes. It was a walk to Jesse, and Pine got hit by a pitch. Tibbetts thought about going, made a step towards second base, but instead he stays at first, and Ellis takes another ball.
Tibbetts, with 10 stolen bases on the season so far, could very well go. I'm not sure if I would if I were him with 2 outs, because if you get out, the inning's over and you kind of cut that momentum a little bit. But you took a bit of an interesting, weird half step there in the last at-bat, or last pitch.
Ball down low, another one to Ellis. Now Tibbetts will be able to go with 3-2 and 2 outs. He'll be on the move, and an extra base hit from Ellis will give him an RBI. Fans make some noise here at the Bart. They filed in and really packed this place to the nines on this beautiful matinee game. That one is lined right to the first baseman, Janis, and that will retire the side, but not before Indiana makes some noise. They get 3 runs on 2 hits. The big loud bomb from Carter Matheson gives them the 3-2 lead. We reach the end of 1 here at the Bart. Indiana 3, Illinois 2. You're watching Big Ten Plus.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
In his first at-bat, looking to do a job here and just advance the runner. But first, Tucker peers back at Comilla, leading off of second. Stolen 3 bases on the season. Leads the team now with 14 doubles. Also leads the team with 2 triples as well. So that's now his 14th extra base hit plus 6 the home run. So now 20 extra base hits on the season. And that one got him. A hit by pitch there. Tucker was wondering where that got him, as it looked like Janis not in pain at all, but it clips him. That's now his 22nd hit by pitch on the season. Second in the Big Ten.
It looked like if it would have hit him anywhere, it would have been down shin level. I think he probably might have just clipped his pants too, which does count as a hit by pitch.
So quickly, it's first and second, and just like the first inning, Tucker gonna have to work out of some trouble here. Now it's Campbell, who has 2 home runs in this series, struck out in his first at-bat. Looking to tie the game or maybe do some more as he hits one in the air, well hit out to right center, going back to the track, to the wall, it's gone! A ball that just carried out from Jacob Campbell, who cannot be stopped this series. It's a 3-run home run for the catcher, his 3rd home run this weekend, and Illinois now takes the lead. They jump on top. It's 5-3.
Whalen just trying his hardest to get over there, and the ball landed just outside the wall. I don't think he would have had a chance to catch it even if he got there in time, but that ball carried out very quickly.
Well, the flags were not moving out there in left center, but there was clearly enough power there from the catcher. Didn't look like it was going to cause too much trouble, but got the barrel around to it. And then Whalen just kept running out of room and then looked up and had no chance at it. So 2 3-run home runs in this game. And Illinois is now on top 5-3. Still no outs here in the top of the 3rd with Cam McDonald now digging in. Walked in his first plate appearance, advanced to second but was stranded there. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike from Tucker. Tucker's longest appearance this year, just 4 1/3 innings. Pitched 4 innings back on Tuesday. But length has been an issue for the Sunday starters for Indiana. They've already given up 5 runs here in the top of the 3rd. 1-1 pitch misses outside.
This is a common thing for Indiana where they can score a lot of runs and then it becomes up to their pitching staff if the pitching staff can support that run scoring. So it really, unfortunately, kind of comes down to people like Braden Tucker to keep runs off the board for the opposing teams.
Pitched in the doubleheader Tucker did against Troy. Pitched 4 1/3. That's his longest outing. Gave up just 1 earned run in that game. Came on for the save 2 Fridays ago against Nebraska to lock that game down. That was another close win for Indiana. They've had 2 exciting wins the past 2 Fridays, but still looking for that elusive Game 3 win in Big Ten play. They've struggled a lot on Sundays, especially on the mound, and that's continued today. That one line foul down the right field line, out of play. So the count is now full to the 5-hitter, Cam McDonald. 3-run home run for Matheson in the first, now a 3-run home run from Jacob Campbell in the 3rd. That's why it is a 5-3 ball game here at the Bart. Sun trying to peek its way out through the clouds. That one fouled straight back, and they'll do it all over again. Illinois just 2 games back of first place in the Big Ten, currently in 3rd behind Rutgers. That one is lined out to left center field. That will split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. It one-hops the top panel and going to second, and standing up safely with a double is Cam McDonald. And right after the bases are cleared by Campbell, McDonald is back on second. That's the second double of the inning. And now Kellen Sarver, who already has 2 RBIs in this game, has got a chance for another one.
Well, Tucker really relying on his fastballs right now, and of course those are one of the easier pitches for batters to pick up on, especially this early in the game. It's clear that they've been able to figure out something about Tucker to get the bat on the ball.
That'll prompt Jeff Mercer to come out. It looks like we will see a pitching change here in the 3rd inning. Tucker will make way. We'll finish with 2+ innings pitched, and the runner on second is his responsibility. As we'll go to break as Indiana makes a pitching change. They trail 5-3. Illinois looking for more here at the BART. It is stay with us right here on Big Ten Plus. Came in relief back on Tuesday to relieve Braden Tucker. Pitched a stellar outing, 5 innings, gave up just 1 run, struck out 5, got the win against the Bulldogs at Victory Field, but a much different situation. He is inserted here in the top of the third. Already 3 runs scored by the Illini, still no outs. As it's Cam McDonald leading off of second, as Bothwell checks on him. It's Kellen Sarver at the plate, had a big 2-out, 2 RBI single in the first to get the Illini on the board. 2 3-run home runs from each team has been the scoring to this point. Another Sunday game at the BART that is calling for a long game and potentially a lot of runs. We saw 28 of them yesterday, 18-10. Illini bats came alive. And they're certainly carrying over that momentum thus far here in the top of the third. Ardue with 5, looking for more. The 1-0 on the ground to second. That'll do the job. Dones goes the short way to first. There is 1 out, but moving to third is McDonald. So Sarver does the job. He'll get high fives from his teammates in the dugout. And the Illini are once again set up to score again. They have a runner on third with less than 2 outs.
Well, and that is how you want to start things out if you're Bothwell. Quickly get an out, even if you do have a runner on third. Like you said, he came in for Braden Tucker on Tuesday against Butler, pitched 5 innings, had 8 strikeouts for his most this season. So he's coming off of a really good performance. Whether or not he can continue in a situation like this is definitely a question, but he definitely has the potential to.
Taylor Jackson steps in for his second at-bat, grounded out, fielder's choice that is, to Dones, who made a nice play to end the first inning. Now Jackson's got a chance to redeem himself and get an RBI. With McDonald leading off of third, that one fouled straight back. Quickly down 0-2. It's exactly what you said, Amanda. You want to get Bothwell throwing strikes and attacking hitters. Struggled with command this year. Comes into this game with 12 strikeouts and 13 walks in 28 innings pitched. This is his 14th appearance. Looking to get a big strikeout here in the third. Misses high and away with the 0-2 fastball at 94 miles an hour. Indiana playing straight up. A ground ball up the middle would certainly allow the run to score. A sac fly should do the same. The wind's blowing out to right. That one's fouled away. First base side out of play.
Big gap between center and left field there, too. Out in left center, a lot of room between Wayland and Matheson.
Jesse playing a bit in right field, and Matheson certainly playing more towards left center. So a ball that, let's say, Josh Pine hit on Friday would certainly do the trick. That one fouled back, goes off the catcher's mask. Cerudo doing the catching duties with Matthew Ellis DHing. That's what we usually see from Jeff Mercer on Sundays. Allow Ellis, still one of the best hitters in the Indiana lineup and in the Big Ten for that matter, to still don't take the bat out of his hands, but give him a day off behind the plate. The 1-2 again, swing and a miss, strike 3. A big strikeout from Bothwell. It's a key second out. And now it'll be up to Brody Harding to get the job done.
Well, that's the goal. You know, we talked about it after the last out, and now for Bothwell specifically to get a strikeout in this situation is good for his first one to get it quickly.
Harding hit that ball up the middle that went off of the glove of Tucker, and then the shortstop Goforth made a really nice play, and that is a balk. Bothwell did not have control of his feet or something like that. Not sure if the ball was in his hands either. So he made the step towards home and then just stopped as he slaps his hand into his mitt in frustration. Taps himself and said, "That's my bat," and that allows the run to score. Well, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, his foot dragged on the mound before he was able to actually put it down, so unintentional there, and then he kind of just tripped. And obviously you don't want to fall over on the mound because that would also, you know, not be a good thing. But of course it results in a balk and the run scores, and that's after such a good start with those quick 2 outs. Not great for him.
That's the 4th run scored this inning, and all the good work that Bothwell did to strike out Jackson just completely goes away. So you got that end of that cleat just stuck on the mound. We've seen some mound problems with Indiana games. They had that long 30-minute delay in the game against Evansville with the all-turf mound. That game on the road, and they lost that game. That one's a softly grounded ball to second. Dones bobbles it, and allowing Harding to reach on what should be an E4. Defensively, Indiana's not been great in the last 2 games. Made 3 errors yesterday. Dones made one of them, and that one just, he had to come charge at it, but could not get the ball out of his mitt. And now it's a balk followed by an E4, just a softly grounded ball. Bothwell had no chance. Dones coming in, just boots it.
Those balls are hard to field. Dones coming in so fast. There's a lot going on all at once. Obviously, you want to try to beat the runner to first base, and he was just moving a little bit too quickly there.
So Cal Haza gets his second at-bat. Grounded out to shortstop back in the 2nd. Now it's a runner on first with 2 outs. Already 4 runs in, a 3-run home run by Campbell, and then McDonald scored on that balk. Bothwell this time gets the ball out of his mitt, throws to first, checking on Harding on over at first base. Stolen 4 bases this season, Harding. Been caught just once. Has scored a run in this series. That one is lined over the shortstop and into left field for a base hit. Illinois keeps the line moving with 2 outs. Matheson gets the ball in. Goforth had no chance on that one. And it's kind of starting to unravel for Indiana here in this 3rd inning. A balk, an error, and now a 2-out single from Cal Haza. And the 9th batter to come to the plate in Danny Dollagale, who will bat for the 3rd time in this game, and we're just in the 3rd inning.
Well, and it's so easy as a pitcher to so quickly get into your head. And for Bothwell, who's struggled earlier in the season with kind of finding his rhythm and not being in his head, for this to happen, for all of this to go so quickly. You know, he starts with a balk, and then there's an error, and then there's a hit. Just probably very easy for him to be not fully confident on the mound right now, which is obviously...
So now it's Dollagale, right fielder. 1 for 2 in this game with a single, scored in the 1st, and then flew out to left in the last inning. Looks at a first pitch down and away for ball 1. Brendan Kamia is on deck. He led off this inning with a double that ended up scoring on that home run from Jacob Campbell. Indiana crowd a bit stunned with this inning thus far. 4 runs, still just 2 outs. An opportunity for Dollagale, one of the best hitters in this lineup, to tack on more and really make this a crooked inning if it isn't already.
Big leads off first and second. Both runners have 4 stolen bases on the season, of course, with 2 outs, not looking necessarily to steal, but just threaten the infield, try to get in Bothwell's head even more, and of course be ready if there's a hit, since they'll just be running on contact.
Dollagale had the green light there on 2-0, swings at it and fouls it off to the third base side over the Indiana dugout into the concourse. Slow-moving game here, still in the top of the 3rd. Just about an hour into this ball game. Illinois ahead, 5-3. There's another one fouled back. Very similar spot as it bounces up towards the concession stand. So far on this inning, 4 runs on 4 hits. An error did not help either from Dones that allowed the inning to continue. So any of these runs that would be given up would be unearned. Bothwell fakes the throw back to second where Harding is. No one's covering second base. Both Dones and Goforth playing in their respective positions. Goforth is holding Harding on to a certain extent, playing just behind him. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs. Misses upstairs. That'll allow the runners to go on this next pitch. Full count here. Big pitch incoming from Bothwell.
Yeah, no one really worrying about the runners right now. Of course, you just want to get an out, get out of the inning.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the third. Illinois up 6-3, looking to add on to this 4-run inning to this point. The full count pitch, they'll do it again as that one's fouled back. Getting a piece of it was Dollagale. Had a 13-game hit streak earlier in this season. Just 2 for 9 in this series on the weekend with a double and 3 runs scored. Actually 4 runs, given that he scored in the first inning with that Kellen Sarver base hit. The payoff pitch once again. Grounded foul on the first base line. Dollagale working a good at-bat here. So the 6 runs will all be charged to Braden Tucker. His final line is 2+ innings pitched, gave up 5 hits, now 6 earned runs. Did strike out 2 batters. Walked a pair as well. Full count pitch once again, just stroked into right field. That'll drop in front of Jesse for a base hit. Coming around to score is Harding, moving to third. They'll throw to second, and I got him in a rundown. The runner is not going to score, so nice job from Indiana to limit the damage as Goforth tags out the batter. Dollagale is trying to stretch it to 2. 1 run will score, so it's 7-3 Illinois. They put up a 5 spot in the top of the third. As we'll go to the bottom of the third, Indiana now trailing by 4 here on Big Ten Plus.
But Janis is also a winner off the field as well. His older brother Jeremy had leukemia when Justin was a young boy. Justin was his bone marrow donor, and now Jeremy has been free of cancer ever since. So Justin Janis, certainly one of the best players on the field, but a winner off the field for his family. Guys?
Great story there, Griffin. Janis, a guy you just can't root against. He certainly proved that this year as Jesse sends that one high in the air to right field, carrying a bit, going back to the track and making a bit of an over-the-shoulder catch is Dollagale out there and right. That ball just kept carrying and carrying with the wind blowing out to right field. Now it is Josh Pine looking for his first at-bat of the game. Got plunked in the first. Got hit on the hands and then scored the very next at-bat via a Carter Matheson 3-run home run, his 12th of the season. But since then, the Illini have scored 5. There's a pitch that misses outside. Count 2-0. On the 3-hitter for Indiana. Could be tough, Amanda, for Gowans, who had to sit for that long inning to get back on the mound and try and find yourself, because every coach will say pretend as if it's a 0-0 ball game, but you know full well that you're looking at the scoreboard and you're up 7-3.
Oh, exactly. And, you know, it's a good thing it's not a cold day, because at least Gowans doesn't have to worry about getting cold in that way. But definitely that amount of time with, you know, you can't warm up unless he were to go out and take a couple tosses in the bullpen, always an option. But like you said, definitely. And the 7-3, you're gonna be thinking it. It doesn't matter if your coach wants you to or not. You can't help it.
Pine fouls that one straight back. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Gowan's pitch count at 48. Nearly threw 30 in the first inning, but it settled down quite nicely. Another foul ball could be playable for the catcher. It goes back. Will end up in the seats. Practically gets one of the Indiana managers who's helping out with the pitch radar. That one came all the way back into the front row.
There's the wind again for you. It looked like it was going to come up and hit on top of the press box. I think it.
2-2 again to Josh Pine, the freshman, looking to get on base. Called strike 3, a nice off-speed pitch at 80 miles an hour. Clips the zone. Pine's got some words for the home plate ump, and Indiana, the Boo Birds come out.
Mercer's got some words, too.
As Mercer's coming out and making sure that Pine doesn't get in any more trouble. Building, of course, Andy Moore, adjacent to Bart Kaufman here in Bloomington.
Here you see the home run from Matheson, just so much power. He knew it right away. Stands there, takes a nice little look at it, because how can you not with a hit like that? And, you know, this is something that Indiana's had all season from him, just so much confidence at the plate. He stays in the zone, like Mercer was saying after the game yesterday. He knows what he can hit, and when he sees it, he goes for it.
Everyone knew it. Matheson knew it. Gowans even knew it as well. Just gave the ball a quick look and then looked back to his catcher for a new baseball. 12 home runs now for Matheson this season. Fouls that one back. The 0-2 pitch, you just mentioned it. Matheson, a guy who extends at-bats, doesn't extend the zone either. Expand the zone, I should say. Began the year at the bottom of the order, now found himself in the cleanup spot where he's been the last few games. Been one of the bright spots ever since Matthew Ellis has really tapered off a little bit. Matheson's been that guy to produce in the cleanup spot. 0-2 pitch. Matheson lays off of the high cheese, 1-2. Last 6 batters have been retired in order for Indiana after the first few reach, and then Matheson brought them home with that home run. He swings and misses for strike 3. Another quick inning from Gowans, who's really found himself in his groove. 5 strikeouts now for the right-hander, and we'll go to the 4th inning. It's 7-3 Illini. You're listening to Big Ten Baseball on Big Ten Plus. 5 runs in that inning. Could have been a 6th, but there was a runner ruled out on the base paths before that next runner could come around to score. So a bit of a base running miscue from Illinois, but they still have a comfortable 7-3 lead as Ty Bothwell is out for his first full inning of work. Came in relief for Braden Tucker. Misses outside there with the 0-1 fastball at 93 miles an hour.
When we were talking last time, Bothwell was up on the mound as he came into relief, just about the mental aspect of this game. And obviously for Indiana, you're down 7-3. You want to get as quick outs as you can in the 4th. Obviously they had 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st, as we saw with the Matheson home run, but really up and down so far for their batters. So you really want to try to get a grasp on the Illinois offense starting now, really, since they've been unable to since.
That one clanks off the facade of the press box and ricochets back into the first few rows. Interesting foul ball so far in this game. Even though this game is 7-3, it kind of feels like a lot more with the way that last inning transpired. You know, half an hour, half inning there. We saw a pitching change, some runs scored, some errors as well. But there's a strikeout from Bothwell on Comia, who is retired for the first time today. There's one out. First pitch to him. It's fouled away.
People might be disappointed in the state of their cars when they leave this game, given how many foul balls we've been seeing. Any unsuspecting person buying a hot dog might be in trouble.
Got to be attentive wherever you are on the ballpark. That 0-1 pitch misses inside to the left-handed batter in Janis, who is playing first base today. Came in today 7 for 10 on the series. Yesterday 5 for 6, a home run, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs. He is second in the Big Ten with 21 hit by pitches, and in the top 10 in the Big Ten in OPS as well, with an OPS of 1.056. And there's another hit by pitch. Oh man, can't imagine being Janis's doctor at the moment. That's his second hit by pitch in his 3rd plate appearance of the day. And he is once again trots to first base. That's his 22nd time he's been hit by a pitch this season. I've never even seen someone get hit 10 times in a season, let alone 22. That is now tied for first in the Big Ten. Not sure if he's proud of that or not, but hey, you're getting on base.
Exactly. You got to do what you got to do. And, you know, if you get hit on the elbow guard, what's the harm?
There's another near hit by pitch. Bothwell yanks that one inside on the right-handed batter in Jacob Campbell. He had that 3-run home run in the last inning to give the Illini the 5-3 lead. They added 2 runs at the end of that inning as well. So it's Janis leading off of first with 1 out. That one hit sky high in the infield. Goforth calls off Pine, takes a couple of steps back, playing the wind, and brings it in for the 2nd out.
Those hits can be tricky. They go up so high, and it's hard to keep track of. And with the way the weather is today, the sun's not directly in the field now, but if you look wrong at the cloud that the sun is behind, is still tough. So really good play by Goforth. Pine kind of dropped over and got out of the way. He might have lost track of it.
Both those guys look back up, both wearing sunglasses, even if it's cloudy out. Sun can still peek through those clouds and cause trouble, especially on a ball that was hit so high up there. But Bothwell's starting to find his groove in this top of the 4th. with 2 outs and 1 runner aboard. That's Justin Janis. 2 hit by pitches for him. Also struck out looking, but he's on base for the second time. There's a big swing and a miss, a big hack there from Cam McDonald. 1 for 1 in this game. Walked in the first, doubled, and came around to score in the last inning. The 0-2 pitch. Hit the other way and threw for a base hit into right field. Jesse gets the ball in. Janis moves up 90 feet to second base. It's another 2-out hit for Cam McDonald. And it's first and second for the Illini as they keep the inning going.
Well, this is one of the things for the Illinois batters. You know, they have power, but they also have really good strategic hits. Like you saw there, there's a big gap between first and second, and he just figured out where to place it. And now you've got 2 runners on, even though there are 2 outs. Obviously, we've seen what Illinois can do with 2 outs.
So now it's Kellen Sarver's turn to bat, a hit and 2 tries to this point. Had that 2 RBI single back in the first, grounded out for the first out of the last inning. Bothwell looking to get out of this one. Indiana trailing by 4, check swing, and Sarver did in fact go around. Third base umpire Stephen Linton rules that he did in fact go. That's strike 1. This is Bothwell's second inning. This will be his 37th pitch. High pitch counts have been a theme for Indiana this year on Sundays. There's a nice pitch there on the outside corner. Called strike, and he's once again ahead 0-2.
A couple little off-speed pitches here, both in the low 80s for the last 2 strikes.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bothwell looking to get out of this. And a swing and a miss there. Ceruto will throw it down to first base for the 2-3 putout, and that retires the side here in the 4th. The Illini threaten, leave 2 on base, and they still lead 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching Big Ten Baseball on Big Ten Plus. Let's do up. Doan's the second baseman, graduate transfer from West Virginia. Popped out to second in his first at-bat. Hitting .395 when leading off. That's where he was the beginning of the year, was the Indiana leadoff hitter. Still sports an excellent on-base percentage of .384. That number at one point was hovering around .450, but has come back down to earth a little bit.
Doan's really patient at the plate. He's got 31 walks on the season to lead Indiana, and as you said, on-base percentage .384. You do what you got to do to get on base and try to get those runs in.
Tied for 3rd in the conference in walks with 31, as you mentioned. Started 36 games last year at West Virginia, had 6 multi-hit games. Number 7 shortstop, I should say, 45 overall prospect out of the state of Georgia. Fayetteville native. Had a 4-hit game earlier this season against Kentucky when Indiana pounded out 20 runs in that midweek game. So he swings and misses there. Another strikeout from Gowans, who is really in the groove now. That's his 6th K of the afternoon. Since then, it's been smooth sailing. First pitch just misses low with the 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch there to the first baseman, Tibbetts. Number 2 ranked catcher coming out of high school in the state of Ohio has since moved on over to first base. Takes another pitch up and in for ball 2. Gowans in his 4th inning of work, 3 1/3 to this point, just 2 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Just that home run, the only blemish on his afternoon. Get me over strike on 2-0. Clips the inside corner on the first baseman Tibbetts, hitting .277 on the season. Singled to the right side. Harding and Haza, the second baseman and shortstop, both playing a bit up the middle. Plenty of room on that right side for Tibbetts to do what he did in the last at-bat. This time he goes the other way. Nice diving stop there from Haza. The long throw across. Got him. What a nice play going into the hole there from Cal Haza. Made the strong throw across. A nice scoop at first base by Janis. Played him perfectly there in Tibbetts, and now Haza's right up the middle again. This time it's Matthew Ellis' turn. lined out to first base to end the first inning. Looking for his first hit on the series. That one way up and away. Goes to the backstop. Some fans let out some moans and groans on that one. Ellis, a great story. Began his career at Tennessee, redshirted, and then went on over to Walter State Community College, close to home. He's from Kentucky, and then made his way to Indiana, really found himself a home, had an excellent start to this season. Was up there in not only the Big Ten, but the NCAA as well in terms of home runs and RBIs. It's really fallen off a bit, seen his average dip below 300, and his on-base percentage now at 401. Earned Big Ten preseason honors, one of 3 Hoosiers to do that. Looking for his first hit and get a 2-out rally going for Indiana. That one fouled straight back, and he's quickly down 1-2.
He's one of the few in Indiana who could potentially go into the MLB draft after this season. Of course, depends on how everything plays out. He could very well return.
Redshirt junior listed at 6'4", 240. Waddy, Kentucky native with 44 hits on the season. This is his 44th start. The 1-2 to the catcher, I should say the DH today. Usually the Indiana starting catcher fouls that one back. Another one that bounces up into the concourse area. A lot of foul balls today, you mentioned it.
Adds a little bit more excitement for the fans. Why not? Everyone loves to catch a foul ball at a baseball game.
1-2 to the Indiana DH today, who's 0 for 1 in this game. Looking to get something going for Indiana. They've been quite quiet ever since the first. That one hit in the air out to left. Going back at first, and then coming in is McDonald. And the last 10 Indiana hitters have been retired. It has been smooth sailing for Riley Goins ever since the first inning. As we've reached the end of 4 innings, it's Illinois 7, Indiana 3. You're watching Big Ten Network Plus. An awesome story there. We heard Josh Pine, when he hit that walk-off hit, a bunch of people were shouting his name, and now we have a Bobby Whalen contingency as well. They showed up to a lot of the games this season. Nice job. Nice custom-made jerseys as well, matching
fantastic.
the Indiana whites in this game.
Well, that's been something a lot of Indiana fans over multiple sports have talked about, how they don't really have a lot of jerseys or merchandise available. So I have so many questions about how his mother made those jerseys. I can't comprehend it. I'm not very crafty myself, but those are wonderful.
We would definitely like a pair of those jerseys for sure.
Unbiased, of course, just to have a baseball jersey.
Any jersey from whomever, we will certainly take it.
I wonder if she takes requests, if you can ask for someone else on the team or if it's just Bobby.
Interesting. Griffin, if you're listening, that's your next job. Figure out who can get a jersey.
How much do they cost?
That is exactly right. There's a 5-pitch walk there for Taylor Jackson. So it's a leadoff base on balls. Now it's Brody Harding's third trip to the plate. 0 for 2, grounded out and reached on an error in in the third inning, which allowed that 5-run inning to continue. It was an E4 charged on Tyler Dones. I mentioned that Bothwell struggled with his command a bit. He'll check on the runner at first, Jackson. Another guy who's stolen 4 out of 5 bases and been caught just once. Feels like a lot of these guys. It's not an Illinois team that necessarily is very busy on the base paths, unlike Indiana, but certainly have some guys that are able to swipe a bag. Showing bunt there and a good push bunt on over to second. Dones has one play, fires to first, and the slide is not in time there as Harding was trying to reach on a bunt, a little crafty as he moved the bat around and kind of pushed it on over to second, so Bothwell was out of the equation, but ends up being a successful sacrifice as Jackson moves to second. He tried sliding into first, but the throw was well in time from Dones for the first out.
An interestingly placed bunt there. Usually if a bunt travels that far off the bat, it's not really too much of a play, but Bothwell was running in because he saw the bunt and he expected it to stop quicker than it did. Good play by Dones there. Not too often you see someone sliding into first base either. That's always fun.
Usually on a bang-bang play, that's the only reason why in a do-or-die situation, but Harding just looking to leg out an infield single via the bunt, but instead it turns into a sacrifice, so he won't get charged with an at-bat there. Now it's Cal Heza, the 9-hitter, looks at a first pitch strike. Heza nearly came around to score in the 3rd inning on a hit from Danny Dollagale, but Dollagale was caught in between 1st and 2nd and was tagged out before Heza could come around and score what would have been the 8th run. But he's got a chance to knock in another one. The shortstop, number 13, who is batting 9th. Down 0-1, fouls it back against the screen, 0-2. Jackson on second base, led off the inning with a walk, and then advanced to second on the Harding sacrifice bunt. Now it's Heza up to bat with Dollagale, the leadoff hitter, on deck. And unless there's a crazy double play, should be able to have his 4th at-bat, and we're just in the 5th inning here. It's been an Illinois explosion on offense, just like we saw yesterday. They scored 10 runs in the 6th inning. Indiana did score 8 in the final 2 innings, 5 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th, but it was nowhere near enough to overcome that large deficit that they dug themselves into. And other than that Carter Matheson home run from Indiana, they've been very quiet. Illinois has scored in the odd number innings thus far. Looking to do so in the 5th. There's a ground ball to the hole on the left side. Pine makes a throw across his body. Nice play there from the freshman third baseman. Has been so smooth at third base. Makes that one look very, very easy. Remaining at second is Jackson, and there are 2 outs.
Really nice throw on the run there from Pine, really, and another good snag from Tibbetts. We've seen both first basemen having to stretch out on their knees and get those 1-hops to get the outs.
So it is Danny Dollagale for his 4th at-bat of the game. 2 for 3 so far. A single in the 1st and 3rd, flew out in the 2nd. And there's going to be another pitching change for Indiana as Jeff Mercer heads out to the mound and will make a change. It is Reese Sharp who will come on in for Indiana. Will be the 3rd Hoosier to take the mound thus far. We'll take a quick break here on Big Ten Plus. It's 7-3 Illinois. To the bottom of the 5th we go here in sunny Bloomington, Indiana at Bart Kaufman Field. Austin Platt, Amanda Foster, Griffin Epstein, the 3rd member of our team. It's 8-9-1 for Indiana. This happened in the 2nd inning, and they went down, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. As the starting pitcher, Riley Gowans, has been in a groove ever since the 1st. Gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st, courtesy of a Carter Matheson 3-run shot. But after that, it's been goose eggs, and the last 10 Indiana hitters have been retired. As it's Evan Goforth looking to change that narrative. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike at 91 miles an hour. Gowans, the senior with sophomore eligibility, was injured in both 2019 and 2020 in the COVID-shortened season. 1-1 pitch misses inside, as Campbell couldn't quite squeeze that one. Gowans, funny enough, was actually part of a combined no-hitter back on April 25th of 2021. Began that game, and that game was against Purdue. Pitched 7 innings, walked 4, struck out 6. It certainly looks like it's been that way from him ever since the 1st inning. No base runners have reached for Indiana. And there's no one in the Illinois bullpen as well. So it'll be pitch number 68 for Gowans here in the 5th inning. He's in quite good shape in terms of pitch count. That one misses upstairs on Goforth, the shortstop getting the start today. We've seen a few different shortstops for Indiana. Philip Glasser came back from a finger injury this weekend. Started on Friday, getting the day off. He hadn't played since April 19th. And today it's Goforth getting the start at the captain of the infield. That's a ground ball to 3rd, knocked down. The long throw across is not in time. Bobbled at first base by Janice. Comia, the 3rd baseman, bobbled it as well. We'll see if they rule it a hit or an error. But either way, it's the first base runner since the 1st for the Hoosiers. Would have beaten out the throw, Goforth to 1st either way, and they do rule it a infield single for the shortstop. Now it's the catcher batting 9th. It's his turn as he checks his swing and fouls that one back. Just the third hit for Indiana in this game. Matheson had the first hit with that home run, and then Tibbetts had a 2-out single in the first. Innings 2, 3, and 4, Indiana went down in order. They have their first base runner. It's the leadoff runner here in this inning, with the backup catcher at the plate. Just 3 hits on the season.
Goforth taking some really big jumps there at first base. He doesn't have a stolen base yet on the season. Just trying to be aggressive right now.
The 1-1 is lined up the middle and through for a base hit. Goforth had to wait to make sure that ball was not caught, so he advances 90 feet, station to station. Indiana's got something cooking here as the lineup flips over to Bobby Whalen. Whalen in this game, 0 for 2, fouled out to the pitcher in the first, struck out in the second, looking to at least do a job here and move the runners over, if not score a couple runs and get Indiana back into this game. It's just a 4-run deficit, but with that big crooked inning in the third, it feels like a lot more. And that's kind of been the way a lot of these games have gone for Indiana. They have the offense, and that any lead is really uncomfortable for any other team. But in some of these games, it just feels like they're down by so many more runs. But the tying run is on deck in Hunter Jesse. The 1-0 to the leadoff hitter, fouled away. Whalen, the Louisville transfer, second in the Big Ten in at-bats. Had 180 coming into this game. He's third in the Big Ten in hits and tied for third in triples. He's got 3 of them to lead Indiana. And this weekend, entering today, 5 for 8 with 2 doubles and 4 runs scored. He's had quite a nice weekend. So both these teams looking to win this rubber match. 1-1 pitch misses down, 90 miles an hour. Gowan's in a bit of trouble here. Had to work out of some trouble in the first. Give up a 3-run home run after a walk and a hit by pitch to Jesse and Pine, and now it's 2 singles for Indiana to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Looking to get something going here.
When you mentioned it, there hasn't really been much of a threat for Indiana on the base pass after that first inning. So while Gowans has been performing very well, he hasn't had to think about runners on the bases. And of course, that changes how you pitch, how you think about your pitches, all of the lead up into the pitch, not to mention the pitch itself.
Bit of chin music there on that 2-1 pitch. Whalen has to duck out of the way. Now he's ahead 3-1. We're seeing some members of the Illini bullpen start to get up. The 3-1 is fouled back. And the count is now full at 3-2. Whalen a bit frustrated with himself. Definitely thought that was his pitch to drive.
Ceruto with a really big leap off first. Might have been an attempt at a sort of hit and run situation. Ceruto also with no stolen bases on the season to join Goforth. Neither have been on the bases that much this season, for that matter.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. A big opportunity for Indiana to cut into this Illinois lead, which is currently at 4. Before that, a check on second as Goforth was dancing off of second base. We've seen that. We saw that yesterday, too. A lot of base runners for Indiana on second base, just trying to get in the head of the Illinois starting pitcher.
They do love to threaten when they're on base. That is a good thing about this team, is that they don't go down easily.
The full count offering once again. Fouled away, this time down the right field line towards the hill.
Slowly moving it over towards fair territory with all of the foul balls. Whatever you got to do to stay alive. And driving up that pitch count is not a bad thing.
Pitch count now at 76. Should say actually it's at 81. Big full count pitch incoming. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter. That one's grounded up the middle and through for a base hit past the diving shortstop and Heza. Here comes 1 run to score. Goforth rounds third and scores easily. And Indiana finally, after being quiet for so many innings, they are back on the board. It is now 7-4. course, the Giants that year had such a good first half of the season when they won so many one-run ball games, and then many thought they would sell off the majority of their team. Didn't end up doing that, and now in the NL West are right up there with the Dodgers and the Padres, and one of the best teams in the NL West. Team so many people sleep on. So Allen, who's now in his 3rd season with the Illini, delivering the message to his starting pitcher, looking to calm him down as Jesse looks at that first pitch outside for ball 1, shaking his head, knowing that that was not a strike. 0 for 1 in this game. Walked and scored in the first. Flew out to right back in the 3rd. Ceruto leading off second. Whalen leading off first. No outs for Indiana. That one's lined in a right center field. That's down for a base hit. Cutting it off before it goes to the wall is Jackson. 1 run will score, and they will hold up Whalen at 3rd. It's a RBI double for Hunter Jesse, and he hypes the crowd up. Indiana's out of their dugout as Ceruto scores easily, and they are set up. The Hoosiers are 2nd and 3rd. Now the tying run is on 2nd. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. And he's got 2 inherited runners, 2nd and 3rd for Indiana, who have come alive. The bottom of the order came through. 2 singles from Goforth and Ceruto, I should say. And then Whalen and Jesse followed up with a single and a double. Now it's 2nd and 3rd. Still nobody out. Indiana looking to tie this game here in the 5th. That one is lined. Very first pitch up the middle and into center field. That'll score both runs very easily. Going to 2nd and sliding in safely is Pine with a big 2-run double. And Indiana, just like that, have tied this game at 7.
But since it was stopped, not much contest there.
So 5 straight hits for the Hoosiers, and now it's Carter Matheson's turn. He's already left the yard today back in the 1st. First pitch curveball there misses way outside. We mentioned it, how potent this Indiana offense is, and it felt like a bit more than that deficit of 4 to begin the inning, but just like that, 5 hits later, this game is tied. And Jeff Mercer mentioned there's a certain attitude about this team that has just stayed with this team the entire year. They struggled a lot this season, but have really turned it on of late. Will be a big comeback win here today. That one hit sky high into right center field. Well hit, going back to the track, to the wall, leaps, and it is gone! Carter Matheson has done it again. Another home run for the freshman. He cannot be stopped. And Indiana, for the first time since the 1st inning, they have the lead. It's 9-7 Hoosiers. What an inning.
And Jackson going all the way back there, ran into the fence. He was close to grabbing it. But out there in center field, Matheson, we know how much power he has. That ball much higher in the air than his first home run of the game. Stayed up there for a while, but still so much power off the bat.
Wenninger missed with the first pitch curveball and then threw a fastball right over the heart of the plate. Matheson just had enough power to hit it over the right center field wall just to the left of the Indiana script. And it is 9-7 Indiana. In the blink of an eye, they have turned this game completely on its head. 6 runs here in the 5th inning, and there's still nobody out. So now it's Tyler Dones' turn. 2nd time he comes up to bat after Matheson hits a home run. So it's now home run number 13 for Matheson. Now he is just 1 behind Alex Dickerson for the most ever in Indiana history for a first-year player. Of course, Dickerson now with the defending champion Atlanta Braves and their system.
Also tied with Matthew Ellis now for 13 home runs, which is no small feat. The two are quite similar when you look at them in size and stature, and then of course with hitting power.
6 straight hits in this inning for Indiana after the previous 10 had been retired dating back to the 1st inning. Dones fouls that one off himself. He's in the box, so it will be a foul ball. He's down 0-2. Now for Wenninger, you just got to settle down. After just an onslaught of runs, he wasn't put in the best situation either with 2nd and 3rd. Most of those runs will be charged to the starter, Riley Gowins, who pitched so well for the majority of the game. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning was lights out, but the bottom of the order got it started. It's been 6 straight hits and now 6 runs for the Hoosiers in this 5th inning. A lot of offense in this game, as we might have expected, given the way Sunday games have gone for Indiana this season. Indiana is still last in the Big Ten in terms of pitching. They give up an average of over 7 runs a game. But with an offense like this, they can certainly outslug teams to victories, and they're trying to do that today in this rubber match. Win on Friday and Sunday That one in on the hands, grounded to short. The throw across is in time, and finally there is the first out. That was Cal Haza there with a nice throw on over to the first baseman, Janis. Dones got beat by half a step there, was chugging down the line the entire way. And there's another hit by pitch. We've seen so many of those in this series. Some fans on their feet. Clearly looked like there was no intention there, but reaching is Brock Tibbetts for the second time today. Indiana's hit 83 coming into this game, which was tied for 5th in all of the NCAA. They've already gotten one guy twice in this game. That is Justin Janis, who's been plunked twice. He's now been hit 22 times this season, but that time it was a Hoosier getting the free pass, and Brock Tibbetts, that's the second Indiana hitter that has been hit. Josh Pine also got hit in the first inning. Ellis takes a 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for a strike as he looks back to the home plate umpire looking for an explanation. How well-rounded this offense is. Matthew Ellis has struggled a lot lately, and they've still been able to just pound out runs. Ellis still does not have a hit in this series. Looking to change that here on this 1-1 pitch. A curveball misses outside.
Once you get into those hitting slumps, they're so tough to come out of, especially at this point in the season when every game matters and every at-bat matters and every pitch matters. Easy to get in your head, like we were talking about with Bothell on the mound. It goes both ways.
The snowball effect certainly comes up as Ellis has just struggled so much. He's been a mainstay, however, at the catching position. That was something that at first, when he first came into the college level, defense was the big issue. Really the biggest thing was blocking pitches. He's also had trouble this year. He's only thrown out one runner trying to steal a base. That's been an issue for Indiana, is keeping opponents off the base paths, but defensively Ellis has still improved so much. Despite this slump, he is still a mainstay in the Indiana lineup, and he cracks that one deep to right field. Forget about the slump. That is another long home run for Matthew Ellis. Now he takes the lead back in the home run category for Indiana, and the inning explosiveness continues for the Hoosiers. It's fireworks here at the BART, and it is 10-7 Indiana.
Just a glorious hit off the bat there from Ellis. That's what he's known for, is getting that power and getting that strength off the ball. He has so much of it, obviously just a big guy. And to blast one out of the park, like you said, no more slump. Really no better time. Extend Indiana's lead.
It is now Tyra Barczyk to take the mound for the Illini in the hopes of putting out this fire for Indiana. They've scored 8 runs here in the bottom of the 5th as now Matthew Ellis cranked his 14th home run. He's now back tied on top of the lead in conference play, as it's Evan Goforth's turn. For the second time this inning, he led this inning off with a single on the starter Riley Gowans. And one pitch misses inside. Just one out recorded in this inning, a Tyler Dones ground out, but other than that, Indiana has just cranked out run after run, hit after hit. 8 runs on 7 hits in this inning. There's still just one out as the bottom of the order looks to get it going again. Another pitch misses inside. Barczyk, the third Illini pitcher in this inning, 2-1 on the season, a 4.62 ERA. He's coming to close out some games, has 2 saves. That one's ripped on the left, into left field. Beats the left side of the infield. And for the second time this inning, Goforth has a single.
It's very hard to get a grasp, and there's that big gap between shortstop and third base that, you know, every right-handed hitter is just going to be looking at and thinking, let me get the ball down there, and no one's going to be able to get to it.
Just with the flip of a switch, Indiana has just been able to completely overpower this Illini pitching staff. Both these teams are known for their offense. Coming into this game, both these teams in the top 5 in the Big Ten in runs and hits per game, as well as on base and slugging percentages. And Illinois 3rd in the conference in average as well, hitting .290. And it's certainly turning out to be another offensive onslaught on a Sunday here at the BART. 0-2 pitch misses outside on Ceruto, the backup catcher, has a single in this game. Just his 4th hit on the season. as Goforth leads off of first. He began the inning with a single. It's been hit after hit. 8 hits now for Indiana in this inning when they've scored 8 already. That one hit on the first base side and will end up reaching the seats, goes on top of the Illini dugout.
Fan trying to get it through the net there. Like I said earlier, everybody wants a baseball. You just got to push it all the way to the end, and then I'll grab it.
He'll get there eventually. He's got plenty of time, and now he's going to... There you go.
There we go.
Gets a warm round of applause from the crowd, deservedly so. Patience pays off. And now that young man's got a souvenir for the rest of his life. That one is on the fist and hit to third. There's only going to be one play to throw across to first. Gets the catcher, and there is 2 outs as moving to second there was Goforth. In this inning so far, we've seen innings where Illinois scored 5 runs. That was back in the third, and now the Hoosiers have scored 8 runs here in the 5th.
I should have started a timer when this inning began. If I knew, I would have, because I'm very curious how long it's been taking, and I have absolutely no idea.
Been a lot of long innings, even back in the early part of the season. Indiana defeated Cincinnati in the early part of March when the Bearcats had to go through 3 different pitchers just in the first inning. And I'm certainly would guess that a record for longest inning has been broken this season at Bart Kaufman Field. Feels
What about
like
longest game, even?
there have been a lot of things that have been carrying along here, but a lot of runs in this game, a lot of offense, as it's been for the majority of this year for Indiana.
Well, that's the thing when you're a fan. You can come watch a long game as long as runs are scored. You know, nobody wants to go to a game and have bases loaded and nobody scores, and then again and again and again.
Even yesterday's game finished 18-10, finished in under 3.5 hours. It was not a bad pace considering how many runs were scored in that game. I'd be shocked if this game is any less than that. Already 2 hours into this one, still in the bottom of the 5th for the Hoosiers, as Rabarczyk is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Inning that is dragged along with Goforth leading off of second, and a swing and a miss from Whalen to end the side, but not before the damage is done. It's 8 runs on 8 hits, 2 home runs, 1 from Matheson, 1 from Ellis, and the Hoosiers have completely flipped this script around, and they lead 11-7 at the end of 5. Stay with us here at the Bart on Big Ten Plus.
President Wynn and Athletic Director Scott Dolson, thanks so much for the time, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you, Griffin. Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Griffin. How about that? Your first ever game you go to as the president of a university, and your team scores 8 runs.
That's a pretty good
I wish
game.
I could be. I wish that would be the first time I ever go to a ballpark. Indiana fans are going to tell her to never move out of that seat.
Oh, yeah.
So it's Brandon Comia to lead off this inning. Count now 2-1.
It's also very solid Indiana athletics memory, beating Purdue men's basketball.
A lot of pretty good memories this season. Of course, they mentioned it, the year of the fans. That one hit out to right field. Well hit, going back to the track, to the wall. It is off the facing of the wall. Going to second and pulling up with a leadoff double is Comia. And the offense just continues to roll for both these teams as the leadoff runner is aboard. It's an extra base hit for the 2-hitter. It's his second extra base hit of the game.
A rocket of a hit there. Got out pretty quickly. It looked like it at one point coming off the bat could have gone out for a home run, but dropped right in front. Took a bit of an awkward hop against the fence, all the netting and the padding there, but easily picked up by Jesse and tossed back in.
So now it's Justin Janis' turn. Looking to advance the runner at least as he fouls that one third base side out of play. A lot of good memories for Indiana fans. Of course, for many in the student body, the first really normal semester and year that they've been through. A lot of good memories on the athletics realm. And, of course, the slam dunk answer was, of course, beating Purdue on the men's basketball side. Mike Woodson's first try. Of course, Woodson, as Griffin mentioned, threw out the first pitch. That one is line. A short hop there for Goforth. Throws over to first. There is one out as remaining at second is Comia. Of course, Woodson threw out the first pitch back on Tuesday in that game against Butler. Got it over the plate. It was definitely a strike.
Bit of a rainbow throw, but
He was certainly happy as head coach Jeff Mercer caught that one. Of course, Woodson, an Indy guy. Nice play there from Goforth to field it on the short hop with the runner right in front of him in Comia, and then make a good throw across to keep the base runner at second.
yeah, the thing with hits like those, it's not necessarily the hop that makes it tough. It was relatively easy, but it's the runner right in front of you that's obstructing your view a little bit.
So now it's the catcher Campbell's turn. The catchers in this series certainly have had an impact. Campbell's homered in all 3 games, homered back in that third inning. It was a 3-run shot. Also struck out and popped out. Fourth at bat here on the top of the 6th. If you're just joining us, we've missed plenty of action thus far. Indiana just put 8 runs up on the board. They trailed for the majority of this game. From innings 2 to 5, they trailed, and then in that 5th inning, just completely turned it on. 8 runs on 8 hits, 2 long balls. Illinois trying to return the favor and get back in this game. So far, 18 runs and 19 hits. 11-10-1 for Indiana, 7-9-0 for the Illini. On this getaway day here, beautiful day. It's been a beautiful weekend. Rain was projected in the forecast. There's a foul ball, but really just rain last night. Nice little lightning lit up the Bloomington skies, but nothing to jeopardize the start of this game. Both games Friday and Saturday at noon. Indiana took the first one 7-6 on a walk-off from Josh Pine. Yesterday, the Illini bounced back in a big way, winning 18-10.
Weather in the Midwest loves to mess with baseball and softball games, I will say.
Of course, the Illinois softball team also in town this weekend. They're playing on over at Andy Moore. There's a hit by pitch, and they're going to say he leaned in, and that is strike 3. How about that? Campbell, the catcher, with that elbow guard, looked like he did reach out towards the plate. And now the head coach for Illinois, who is irate at the moment, arguing the call. Dan Hartlub coming out and yelling with the second base umpire and the home plate umpire. But the home plate umpire made the call. Ben Levin was confident with what he said and is indeed leaning into the pitch. And it turns out to be strike 3. Here's the replay. A pitch up and in, and you can tell he sticks that elbow guard out.
There.
So if Dan Hartlub sees that replay, maybe he'll have a different opinion on what happened there. And Ellis knew it right away, pointed, I should say, Ceruto is the catcher today, pointed right at Campbell. So it ends up going down as a strikeout looking. Star that one if you're scoring at home.
You don't usually see that call too much leaning in, but that one he wasn't even going for the swing. So to have your elbow up that high really doesn't make much sense.
You got that elbow guard to protect you, so you're certainly willing to get hit by that pitch, but doing it in an illegal way. That one inside to McDonald. I believe that's actually not the first time that's happened at the BART this year. I feel like there was another time where someone leaned in to a pitch. I want to say it was actually Evansville. It was one of their leadoff hitters, or I want to say, in one of the non-conference games in late March.
You mentioned the Illinois softball team right next door. That game is in extra innings right now, tied 0-0. Of course, it's the last one. Illinois has won the last 2 games of the series, so bit of excitement over at Andy Moore Field as well.
It's the second time that series has gone to extras.
The last game here at Andy Moore for the 5 Indiana seniors, so they obviously want to go out with a win. They honored them yesterday, but were unable to win that game.
So a snap throw back to second there from Ceruto, but Comia dives in safely. There's a ball hit out to center field. Moving back is Whalen, and is under it for the 3rd out. So a nice inning there from Reese Sharp. Just 1 runner aboard, but they strand that one. And at the end of 5.5 innings here at the BART, it's Indiana 11 and Illinois 7. You're watching Big Ten baseball on Big Ten Plus. 8 runs in the last inning for Indiana, and it's Hunter Jesse to lead things off. Checks his swing. It looks like he takes a called first strike. 0-1 on the Indiana right fielder. 1 for 2 with an extra base hit, a walk, 2 runs scored, and a fly out to right field in the 3rd inning. And Rabarchik quickly ahead 0-2. This is his 17th appearance, the senior from Spring Valley, Illinois. Pitched on Friday, a clean 1 2/3, 3 of his 5 outs recorded via the strikeout. Trying to get a strikeout looking there, but that pitch just off the plate. Opponent's hitting .276 against the reliever. Has 2 saves on the season as Jesse calls time. The 0-2 is fouled away. A nice little curveball over the heart of the plate.
A little off speed there, 80 miles an hour.
Jesse gets on top of it, fouls it back. A lot of foul balls in this game. A lot of guys working counts. That's something that Jeff Mercer really has applauded his team this year. And that one is line. That one's not a foul ball. Lined into right field. Drops in front of Dollagale for a hit. It's the second time Jesse has got a hit in this game. Third time he's on base. As part of the merry-go-round for Indiana. He just could not stop, won't stop. There's a ground ball here. Could be 2, but the only play is going to be at first. Nice play there from Harding as he tried to get the tag applied on Jesse, but so now it's Carter Matheson. 2 home runs in this game. A 3-run shot in the first and a 2-run shot in the 5th. With Jesse now on second, advanced on that ground out from Pine. First pitch to the freshman from Fort Wayne, a swinging strike. No Indiana players hit 3 home runs this year. That happened on the softball side. Bree Copeland did that. Hit a walk-off against Kent State a few weeks ago, and the third of her 3 home runs. Matheson, number 3, looking to hit his 3rd home run, and tie Alex Dickerson for the most home runs for a first-year Indiana player in their storied history. There's a strike, another swing strike there from Matheson way out in front.
It's hard to believe that Matheson is really just a freshman because he comes in with so much confidence. We've talked about this already on the broadcast, but he gives off the air that he knows exactly what he's doing. There's also worth noting a very large gap between Comia and Haja, third and short. Obviously wanting to keep an eye on Hunter Jesse at second. He's got 6 stolen bases on the season.
That pitch misses just outside as Campbell was trying to frame it. And left it there for the home plate umpire to desire. Said it's a ball. Count 1 2 now. Ben Levin not giving the punch out on the Indiana freshman. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out with Jesse leading off of second. Dancing his way with a big lead. That one is hit in the air on the foul side of third base. It'll be playable, and the ball drops. It's a foul ball, but the ball just kept slicing back. That's what happens when it's a left-handed hitter. Ball was sliced back towards the right field line. And the third baseman, Comia, couldn't make the play. He might have lost it in the sun, but certainly didn't read it right either. And so Matheson gets another life.
Foul down the left field line that high up in the air with the sun and the wind it's a tough combination. Those balls are really hard to track. He had eyes on it, it seems like, but then it just kept drifting and circling. And
at that point, Haza was also out of position, the shortstop. So it's another 1-2 to Matheson, misses outside. This is what happened with Tucker, or I should say Bothwell, earlier in this game. An error and kind of snowball on you. So now Barchik's going to have to try and get Matheson out. As he's been given an extra life, and Indiana's been given an extra out here. It won't be ruled as an error, as it didn't hit a glove, but it is a team error. A check swing, and the home plate umpire Levin said he did in fact go around. Mercer immediately comes out of the dugout saying, "Why can't you check on the third base umpire?" Matheson walks off slowly, disappointed.
That's a tough one. I'm not sure about that. Would have to see a replay to be certain, but you're right. Mercer came very quickly out.
Slowly took his helmet off and very slowly walked back to the dugout, but he's certainly got nothing to keep his head down about. Still 2 home runs in this game. Big reason why Indiana has 11 runs as Tyler Dones calls time before the first pitch is delivered to the second baseman. 0 for 3 in this game. A pop out, a strikeout, and a ground out. Jesse still leading off of second. Led this inning off with a single. Then a ground out and a strikeout to Pine and Matheson. Nice first pitch off speed. Dones looks at strike 1. Donzagai's average has dipped down to 262, on base at 380, but is hitting well. Runners in scoring position, hitting 310 and hitting 312 when there are 2 outs. Hitting 277 with runners on base, and he lines that one to shortstop. It's going to be a long throw across, and a nice play there from Heza, who's made some really nice plays today to retire the side. So a leadoff single goes astray for Indiana as Jesse is stranded on second, and we'll head to the 7th inning. Indiana still with that big lead, 11-8, but not after that really nice play there from short. You're listening to Big Ten Baseball on Big Ten Plus. And the first pitch to Sarver fouled away. Sharp this season doesn't have a great record of 1-6, but his ERA, which was above 15 at one point, is starting to come down to earth a little bit. Another guy drafted by the Giants in the 2019 MLB draft in the 28th round. Pitched 3 2/3 earlier this season against Kentucky and got the save because he pitched over 3 innings despite that lopsided score, as he gets a swinging strike there on Sarver, the junior, 1 for 3 in this game. A single, a ground out, and a strikeout. The 0-2 misses outside. Ceruto set up there on the outside corner, didn't get the call. The kick and the deal on the 1-2. Another pitch misses outside to the left-handed Sarver. Very balanced lineup for the Illini. They have 4 lefties and 5 righties in this potent batting order, which is once again at the top of the Big Ten in many offensive categories, as is Indiana, which is probably not a surprise why these games this weekend have been very high scoring for the most part.
So we're doing a good job here of staying patient at the plate and taking those balls. Of course, now he's worked it to a full count against Sharp.
Indiana have struggled this season when the opponent scores more than 5 runs. They're just 6-22, but there's a strikeout there from Sharp as Sarver goes down on strikes, and there is 1 out. Griffin mentioned it at the top. It's Indiana plays quite well in the days after they give up 10-plus runs. In 9 of the 10 games, they've kept the games to within 2 if they've lost, and they've won some of those as well. And would be on track to win this game with 1 out here in the 7th.
They're leading this season when leading after 6 innings, 16-4.
3 of those losses came against Rutgers when they got swept. They led entering the 8th inning in all 3 of those games and got swept in that one. I believe that other game was the Missouri State game. They won 2 out of 3 earlier in the season, dropped that first game in a high-scoring game. They've lost some heartbreaking games. Feels like they finally won a close one on Friday with that walk-off hit from Pine. There's a fastball, 91 miles an hour, right down Broadway for strike 2. Taylor Jackson looking to get something going for Illinois. They've been held off the scoreboard since the 3rd inning. Curveball misses down.
And the way that this game is going, that 3rd inning feels like forever ago. The bottom of the 5th when Indiana put up 8 still feels like a long time ago. So you wonder if Illinois' momentum and energy may have dropped a little bit. They had a lot in the beginning of the game, and it seems like it's kind of tapered out as Indiana has been able to come up and get some rhythm at the plate.
Jackson has worked the count out to full after being down 0-2.
Note on softball, currently in the 11th inning now. Of course, softball only goes to 7, so some tough competition for all of these teams today.
2-2 pitch hit in the air to center. Whalen lost it in the sun, and it drops behind him. Matheson will get it in quickly, but Bobby Whalen just completely lost it in the sun. Not sure if Matheson knew that, as it looked like from our vantage point, Whalen knew exactly where it was, but shading his eyes with the glove, just completely lost it as it bounces over his head. You'll see he's just trying to block the sun with his glove, and then it bounces right behind him.
He probably called for it, so Matheson didn't really think twice, and then might have lost it at the very end there.
Now it's Brody Harding's turn. Second baseman hitting 8th. Looking to drive in a run as Sharp just pump fakes back to second. Jackson chases back there.
Goforth sticking somewhat close to second, but not close enough to have a real sort of pickoff threat.
Pine is in a bit at third, maybe expecting a bunt here from the 8-hitter. Takes a first pitch strike, 92 miles an hour. Sharp certainly feeling it. Giving up 36 earned runs this season, 21 walks to 52 strikeouts. Giving up 20 extra base hits, 12 for doubles, and 8 for home runs. Harding struggles with runners in scoring position, hitting just .211 on the season as he fouls that one back.
Only 11 RBIs on the season for Harding as well.
Also one of the few players on either side not to record a hit thus far. Matthew Ellis ended that with a long home run in that 8-run 5th inning. Now Harding, who today is 0 for 2, also reached on that error back in the 3rd inning from Tyler Dones. Had a 4-hit game earlier this season against Western Kentucky back on March 11th. Just trying to get one hit here. As he hits that one in the air to center, Whalen tracks this one down, makes the catch. Tagging is Jackson. He'll go to third. A good read there from the graduate. So he ends up on third base, so it turns into a sac fly for Harding, and now it's runner on third with 2 outs, and it's the 9-hitter Hayes' job to try and get this run home.
Little bit of redemption there for Whalen, making that catch. Bit of an easier ball to grab, too, not so high up in the sky, battling the sun.
Big spot here for Reese Sharp with the top of the order and Danny Dollagale waiting on deck. Hayes is 1 for 3 in this game, a single and 2 groundouts to shortstop and third base. And the first offering to him in there for a strike. So far, Sharp has thrown 2 innings, given up 2 hits, has struck out 2. Those 2 hits both doubles, but none of them have scored. As the Illini have left 7 on base in this game, Indiana just 3. The kick in the deal on the 0-1, hit in the air to right field. It's a long run for everyone, and it drops just on that hill, a mini hill out there in right field.
Hunter Jesse raced on over there. He was going to get it if he could, just a little bit outside of his wingspan, it looked like. But one lucky young fan will get the baseball. And, you know, any baseball from this game, fantastic.
You will take it as the wind's starting to swirl here once again, blowing out to right center. As Coach Jeff Mercer and his staff getting his defense aligned. A big 0-2 incoming. Reese Sharp looking to get out of this inning unscathed. The 0-2 pitch to the 9-hitter on its way. Swing and a miss. A big strikeout from Reese Sharp, and the Illini strand the runner on third. A double from Jackson, an unconventional one at that, but he gets stranded 90 feet from home, and Indiana is out of the inning. Get up and stretch here at the Bard. It's Indiana 11 and the Illini 7. You're watching Big Ten Plus. We have Tyra Barczyk on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. First pitch misses down low at 83 miles an hour. Second offering clips the outside corner for strike 1 on Brock Tibbetts.
Tibbetts, of course, hit by pitch in his last plate appearance, one of the few we've seen today.
That went off the fist into foul territory. Easy there for Janis to make the play for the first out. Tibbetts, a guy where baseball runs in the family. His father played baseball at both Florida State and Ohio State, but he is retired there. They foul out to first base. Hearing some good news on the softball end of things, that next door at Andy Moore Field, Indiana has walked things off against the Illini to win their final senior day game. A little extra inning action.
It's always fun. Gotta love extra innings, and for Indiana to get one game out of that series against a very good Illinois team is good. And
here's the home run from Ellis. He knew it right away. A bit of a pimp job there for a guy who's been in a slump. Why not celebrate it a bit more? Went way out there to the right center field lawn. Long run for those kids to go and get it.
I was doing the radio call on Tuesday for Ellis's home run, and I was doing it with Griffin, in fact. We were talking about how Matthew Ellis reminds us a bit of Kyle Schwarber, who, of course, also played for Indiana in terms of having these big home runs and knowing when to swing and when to not. Of course, it fluctuates here and there. But in general, both from the Midwest, both big guys with a lot of power.
Of course, Kyle Schwarber bounced around a bit now with the Philadelphia Phillies. Made national, I should say, headlines with that epic rant last week on Sunday Night Baseball after being called out in the 9th inning by Angel Hernandez. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've seen that clip. With
Or
Josh
if you're not
Hader
a
on the
baseball
mound.
fan, but then I don't know why you would be listening to us. So he's also had a few monster home runs for the Phillies this year.
Ellis swings and misses at that one, and he's down via the strikeout for the second time today. Should say the first time he struck out. Leads the team now. It's his 50th strikeout on the season.
Issues that you can face when you have these really good, strong power hitters is that they can either hit the ball really well or they strike out and not able to do much in between. And that's in all levels of baseball.
Dubbed as a 3-result guy, either you strike out, you walk, or you hit a home run. Ellis certainly falls into that category. 29 walks, 14 home runs, and 50 strikeouts now. As it's Evan Goforth's turn. Here in the 7th with 2 outs. Pitch misses inside, 2-1. Rabarchik a clean 2 1/3 innings to this point, giving up just 2 hits, struck out 3. His ERA now sits at 4.23. This will be the 40th pitch for Rabarchik, the senior right-hander. Trying to make it a quick 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss, just like that. Rabarchik a clean bottom of the 7th. Down go the Hoosiers in order as we go to the top of the 8th. We're starting to move quite quickly here at the Bart. It's still Indiana with a 4-run lead on Big Ten Plus. Certainly one of their better attendances today. Of course, the softball game just ended across the street, so you'd assume some people would file their way into this game. Exciting finish here as well.
A lot of the fans here, they announced on the PA system in between on the break here that softball won. Turns out it was a 3-run walk-off double from senior Brittany Ford. So in her last game here in Indiana at Andy Moore over there, really storybook ending for all of them there.
Couldn't write a better ending as the Hoosiers take the final game of this series, and they're looking to do so on the baseball side as well. A rubber match here. Reese Sharp, who has been quite good now in his 3rd full inning of work. Misses upstairs there on the leadoff hitter, so a big spot here in the 8th with 1, 2, and 3. Dalagale, Comia, and Janice Dua all currently have an average of .331 at the moment.
Weird coincidences all around.
That one slapped the other way down the left field line. It is tailing foul. No chance for Matheson there. Count even at 2 for Reese Sharp. Whose best outing this season came back on March the 13th. Pitched 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 1 earned run, struck out 7 against Troy in a second game of a doubleheader. Indiana ended up losing that game. They lost all 3 of those games in that series to Troy, all by low-scoring margins. Certainly that has not been the case today. 3 high-scoring games in this series. And there's only been, Amanda, as much runs as there have been, only 4 innings there have been runs scored. Both halves of the first, the away half of the third, and the home half of the fifth, and that's been it, but there have been 18 runs total.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where if you can get into a groove and the rest of your teammates feel it, you can keep building. And of course, a lot of those runs were scored against the same pitcher, and so when you can figure out a pitcher and figure out his style, then that makes it all that much easier to get hits.
So now it's Brandon Comilla's turn. He is cousins with Jared Comilla on this team, different hometowns, which is why they're cousins and not brothers.
Hey, cousins can live in the same hometown.
I guess, yep.
Going through the roster at first, I was like, are they even related? Because the last name is not very common. Then it made sense that they're cousins.
No one fouled away. You got cousins and then the coach's son, Zach Hartlub, a senior infielder, has made 10 appearances. Got an at-bat yesterday, went 0 for 1.
He wears 24 because that was his father's number as well. Fun fact. A lot of homegrown, a lot of Illinois players on this Illinois team, and a lot of them listing that as a reason as to why they chose Illinois.
1-1 pitch misses just outside on the 2-hitter. 2 for 3 in this game. A walk in the first, a double in the third, a double in the sixth, sandwiched with a strikeout in the fourth. He's come around to score twice. Fouls that one away. Count now 2-2. 18 total runs in this game, 5 in the first inning. Illinois got on top with a 2-run single from Kellen Sarver, followed up by an Indiana home run from Carter Matheson, his first of 2 in the game. Illinois put up a crooked number in the third, got 5 runs to lead 7-3, and the Hoosiers responded. There's a called strike 3, another one on the inside corner. Comilla can't believe it, shakes his head as he struts back to the dugout. And 2 backwards Ks here to begin the 8th.
That one was, I think, a bit of a lucky call for Indiana. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm not an umpire. I'm not playing. It did look a bit high and inside. I understand why there would be some confusion surrounding it, but
Quickly 2 away for Justin Janis. Illinois had a 7-3 lead. Indiana with 8 unanswered runs, all in the 5th inning. 2 home runs, 1 for Matheson, 1 for Matthew Ellis, who now go back and forth for who wants the team lead in home runs.
it's a pretty good competition to have. Just keep hitting home runs. No one's going to argue about it.
Fun little rivalry between those two. So now it's Justin Janis, 0 for 2 in this game to this point. Curveball misses down and in on Janis with Jacob Campbell, the catcher, waiting on deck. You heard from Griffin that hit about how Campbell has hit a home run in 5 straight games. The all-time record is 9, so he's halfway there. There's a grounder right side past the diving Tibbetts and into right field. So Janis is aboard with a 2-out single, and now here comes Campbell, who in the last at-bat had the infamous lean into it, hit by pitch, turn strike 3.
Bet he won't be trying that this time.
It's one where you do it once and you learn your lesson, never do it again.
It's always worth a shot. Who knows? It's also one of those things where it could very well not necessarily realize you're leading into it. It all depends.
I think Campbell knew what he was doing there. The elbow guard and all that.
I don't want to make assumptions, but you're probably right.
He'll get another shot here. First pitch swinging, sends it way into the air. Right center field playable. Coming in is the right fielder Jesse. Makes the play, bit of trouble with the sun, but retires the side. And another quick inning from Reese Sharp. A 2-out single goes Ray, and the Hoosiers are 3 outs away from winning this game. But first, they'll look to add some insurance in the bottom of the 8th as they lead 11-7 on Big Ten Plus. Get a win to end this series. The backup catcher who's starting today, Ceruto, takes a first pitch inside for ball 1, as Rabarchik is the third pitcher we've seen today. The starter, Riley Gowins, ended with a line of 4 innings, ended up coming out for the 5th, so he finishes with 4+, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Then it was Jack Wenninger, came in, got just 1 out, gave up 3 hits, 4 earned runs, and plunked a batter as well. Ceruto showing bunt there, pulls back.
In that case, probably pretty unlikely that Ceruto would actually bunt. Just try to get in the fielders' heads and get them to wonder about it.
Maybe try and steal a ball call there. Sometimes see when someone pulls back, the umpire's looking more at the bat and not where the ball actually ends up going into the catcher's mitt. But he's worked the count full either way. Trying to get the leadoff man aboard for Indiana. Swing and a miss on the payoff pitch there from Rabarchik. That's his 5th strikeout he's recorded in this game. As Ceruto is out for the 3rd time today.
Big hack, nice off speed, 77 miles an hour there to get Ceruto swinging.
First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Bobby Whalen, as the lineup flips over for the 5th time today. Whalen 1 for 4, RBI single back in the 5th, 2 strikeouts and a foul out as well. Grounds that one foul. Third base line will trickle its way towards the Indiana dugout. No one in the bullpen right now, so it looks like it is going to be Reese Sharp, who will be in line to get the save for Indiana, looking ahead to the top of the 9th. Indiana looks to close out a Sunday game. They've had trouble this season on Sunday games, just 5-9. And they have not won a single Big Ten game to finish off a series. They've won a game on Sunday. They beat Purdue that was another high-scoring game. That was in a doubleheader in West Lafayette a few weeks ago, after getting drubbed in the first game, 17-0. That one fouled straight back. Count still 1-2. Rabarchik is now 3 innings of work, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. It's been very impressive, the senior has, in his 17th appearance of the season. 1-2 pitch misses down and away. Looking ahead for both of these teams as the Big Ten season starts to wind down. Indiana has Michigan next week, a big weekend series in Ann Arbor. Michigan, another team that's fighting for the top spot in the Big Ten. Illinois has got a 7-game homestand ahead of them, so they're ending this long road trip as Whalen is caught looking down on strikes quickly for this season. Indiana kind of just needed that one win. They got 2 big home runs in the 9th. As that one clanks off the top of the netting into the crowd, a nice barehanded catch. Is that one of the
nice stretch back catch?
Yep, looked like one of the close to where Griffin interviewed some of those Bobby Whalen fans.
Close to. Not quite, I don't think, but yeah, the Indiana State definitely a big comeback in the 9th inning. Carter Matheson, one of the key players, he came off the bench in that game, and then I'm relatively sure since then he's been in the starting lineup, and that was one of the games where we noticed as broadcasters, when he comes in, he does good stuff. And then obviously he keeps coming in and he keeps doing good things. And definitely one of the more energetic games Indiana had. Overall, it was a good performance. And for them to be able to walk away with a win, I think has definitely propelled them in a way.
Just goes to show that a lot of tough things to do in sports. Pinch hitting might be the toughest, might be up there. You're sitting on the bench the entire game, and then with the very last out, team's down to your last out, you get called on by your manager, and he came through in a big way with a big 3-run home run. And of course, Tyler Dones hit a home run the very next inning, and the Hoosiers held on for a big win in Terre Haute a few weeks ago. They've played quite well since, won 6 of their last 8, looking to make it 7 of 9 and 2 straight Big Ten series wins. 3-1 pitch fouled off, bounces right back towards home plate. Count is full now with 2 outs, nobody on. In this Hoosier half of the 8th. Looking ahead to the 9th for the Illini, it's 5, 6, and 7. Cam McDonald, Kellen Sarver, and Taylor Jackson. The full count pitch on the way from Rabarchik. Fouled away, they'll do it again. Jesse at the plate, the Indiana right fielder. 2 runs in this game, has 2 hits as well. A walk in the first, paired with a flyout in the third. Looking to get something going with 2 outs. Another full count pitch, fouled away, straight back to the screen. Hunter Jesse's worked some really good counts today. Got on base 4 times, got 4 hits on Tuesday against Butler, scored 2 runs, and this weekend's had a nice series. Now 5 hits, pair of doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run as well. Leads the team with a 453 on base entering this game. That has moved up to 461 since then, and it'll go up even more after that. Ball 4, works a 2-out walk, wins the battle against Rabarchik.
We've talked about it before in this game, just the patience at the plate from both of these teams to be able to draw those walks. Because at the end of the day, all you want are runners on base. It does look like Illinois has a pitcher warming up in their bullpen, just in case. Of course, you're getting into the meat of the order where a lot of those runs were scored when Indiana put up 8 in the bottom of the 5th.
It's Tommy Green in the bullpen right now for the Illini. Should this get out of hand. Trying to keep this deficit at 4 are the Illini on that first pitch. Inside, called for strike 1 on Josh Pine. Freshman is 1 for 3 in this game. Runner going. Pitch is called strike. The throw to second is in time. Bang, bang play there, but a really nice throw from Campbell. Got the skip off of the turf and a nice tag applied there from the Illini. So Jesse is cut down on the base paths to end the inning. And we go to the top of the 9th. Can Indiana hold on? Stay with us. You don't want to go anywhere on Big Ten Plus. He's got 3 1/3 already under his belt, and no matter the score, if you pitch more than 3 innings to end a ball game, you get credited with the save as the first pitch in there for a strike.
Sharp coming on, performing very well in relief. He's got 5 strikeouts in those innings pitched.
McDonald 2 hits in 3 attempts thus far. There's another strike, quickly ahead, 0-2. Some defensive changes for Indiana. Jesse moves from right to left, and then Murison is now plugged in at right field for Carter Matheson. So now it's Jesse, Whalen, and Murison left to right in the Indiana outfield. Whalen stays put in center field. McDonald hitting .372 leadoff when he leads off an inning, and he might need a hit here to try and get something going for the Illini. And when poked out to right center field, well hit, and going back to the track, and a nice catch there from Murison. He clanks up against the wall in the end, but just got moved to right field for defensive purposes, and that's why he shows his defensive display as Sharp gives him a tip of the hat.
Really good tracking on that ball from Murison. Hard to do when you're looking over your shoulder and having to reach up with your glove. And as you hit the warning track and you get up to that wall, and we saw he did a little jump hop onto the wall to keep from crashing into it.
Now it's Kellen Sarver's turn. Had a 2 RBI single in the first. Has been retired 3 times since then. A ground out to second and 2 strikeouts. Swings at the first pitch and hits one in the air, this time to left field. It's Jesse out there. Reads it well, and there's quickly 2 outs.
This Indiana crowd is feeling it now. It's been a bit on and off as the game has continued, given how the scoring has gone. Obviously, they were very excited when Indiana put up those 8 runs, but since then, since nobody's scored in 3 innings, it's been a bit quiet. Now they're ready. They can feel it.
Taylor Jackson's the last hope here for the Illini. Graduate from Chicago, Illinois. He's had quite the nice weekend. And he's the last chance Illinois has if they want a comeback here in the 9th. On Reese Sharp, who has been just outstanding. 4 innings now, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 2 doubles. He's given up, but left a few runners on base, and he is 1 out away from earning a save in this game. 1-0 pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Sharp this season looking for his 3rd save. This would be by far his best outing of the year.
The ball just slipped out of his hands there, bouncing in front of the plate.
Home plate umpire wondering where that ball went. Indiana just got it in their dugout. 2 quick outs in this inning. McDonald flew out to right. Sarver flew out to left with the new Indiana outfield positioning. Both those new guys were tested, made their plays. And there's a line drive to center field coming on, and a diving effort is not made, and the ball goes all the way to center field. Jackson's rounding second. He's going to go to third. Mearson's going to cut over and get the ball in, and it is a 2-out triple, and Illinois stays alive. Whalen was looking for the highlight reel catch to end the game, but instead the ball bounced right in front of him, went all the way to the 400 sign in dead center, and Jackson keeps the game alive with a 2-out triple, and now that'll make way for Brody Harding.
I don't dislike the effort by Whalen there. I think he had a good read on it, and it just fell a little bit off from where he expected. He was close to it. And so with that, you know, now you've got a runner on third, but there is a little bit of leeway. And so to try for that, I think is a good thing.
That runner on third does not matter. Still focused on the hitter if you're Sharp here. Harding 0 for 3 in this game. Looking to keep this game alive. Indiana looking to lock it down as we see Grant Holderfield now warm up in the Indiana bullpen. Just in case another few batters were to reach. Count 2-0 now on Sharp, who's laboring a bit. Has 55 pitches under his belt. Has pitched fantastic to this point. 4 innings of shutout ball. Still 1 out away from the save, but now starting to lose command of the zone. Count 3-0 now on the 8 hitter, with Haza, Cal Haza, waiting on deck should the game continue. Get me over strike on 3-0. Makes the count 3-1, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Sharp might be losing the zone a bit, but certainly not losing his velocity. Indiana still 1 out away from getting this series clinching win. There's a strike 2 call in the outside corner, and the Hoosiers are 1 strike away. As the fans will get on their feet here at the BART.
Both of those pitches in for 92 miles an hour. Good fastballs there from Sharp.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reese Sharp looking to close the door here. But first, calling time there is Harding, to the dismay of some of the Hoosier fans.
Try to rattle Sharp a little bit, get him out of his zone.
He'll take a deep breath. And Sharp, who has the sign, delivers the full count pitch. Swing and a miss! Reese Sharp with an absolute gem out of the bullpen. The Hoosiers win their 2nd straight Big Ten series, 11-7, as Sharp shuts the door on this series with an excellent performance. He gets the save, and the Hoosiers with their bats, 8 runs in the 5th. That was more than enough as they win 11-7 and win another Big Ten series at home.